Welcome back to Max's Garage Mahal. I keep getting requests to do a stick adjustment in full. So I want to try to give you the various ways that your stick can be out of adjustment and how to adjust them so that they are centered. And the sticks can be out, just the sticks. It can be tracking perfectly straight and you've got one stick ahead of the other, and by having one stick ahead of the other it's just aggravating and it's not set properly. So I'm going to show you some ways. This old RSD happens to have a seat suspension kit on it, and the seat suspension kit affords me to have this little adjusting handle here that you probably couldn't see in that shot. Let me see if I can tilt it down a little bit where you can see it, and you'll see a 36-inch aluminum yardstick sitting here on top of this adjustment handle, and it's bumping both sticks. When I look down this stick, then I've purposely got this one set, and you can see I've got a wrench here. I've got this one set so that this one is probably ahead of that one. Well, I'll tell you what. I really probably ought to have two cameras on this thing. But let me put them together here real quickly. And you can see right there, just coming straight off of the, they are probably, I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah, I believe you can see that. You can see that they are about half-inch difference, about a half-inch. That's about the size of your finger width right here, mine. So what I'm going to do real quickly is I'm going to adjust this. That's the stop right there, all the way forward. This one hits the stop all the way forward. So if this one is slightly back of that one, that means that I'm not getting as much movement on the, and I actually have, by the way, I got this mower all screwed up for you just like I did for that last two moorings. And it really works me to death, guys, just to keep resetting this thing. But this thing tracks perfectly straight, and I really hate to change anything. But you've asked me for some videos, so let's go ahead and do that. And I think I have another tool right here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to break this loose at the adjustment on the stick right here. And all we're going to do is we're going to set this thing back to right there. Tighten this puppy up. Okay. Just snug it. Now you want to tighten the dickens out of these things when you get through tightening them, because if you don't, what's going to take place is they will loosen up while you're mowing. You will not enjoy that. Now, if these things set level, and you line this bar up to the front of your seat or your front of your deck here, then this one is touching properly and that one's touching properly, and it is now in line. How hard was that, guys? Pretty simple. Okay, so let's do it again. Let's check it right here. Now these things are perfectly lined. Look down the front, I can look down this edge, she's lined right there. Okay, so now you got two perfectly lined handles, and if you notice on mine will touch. That way I can actually operate the mower like this while I'm videotaping. You don't have to do that. These things do touch, and I'm recommending you don't do this because while you're mowing with both hands, you'll have a tendency to put the handles together, and you might cause yourself an accident of some sort. What I do and what you do should be two different things, because this is just to show you how to do things, not how to do these incorrectly. This is incorrect. Now, let's go ahead and take these forward. And they bump at the same time, and they are straight across. Now then, how's that look? Looks like one's higher than the other, but as far as straight across, they're straight across here. There you go. Now, I'm not going to try to adjust these up and down, because they don't have an adjustment for that. These are just not bent exactly the same, so that's the reason why they are a little bit off. But what we are going to do, we're going to take these back up here and put them in park. This is your park space right there. If you're a Hustler big dog owner, you know that that is park. We're going to go ahead now and we're going to tighten the dickens out of these things, because we don't want them moving. If you don't do this, they will loosen up on you. Okay, now, let's say that your sticks are in adjustment, but one is a little softer than the other. And I'm not saying softer because the rods going to the wheel motors is easier to move one way or the other. That's not what I'm saying. They have under here, they have a spring right down here. I've shown you some other videos, and that spring, what it does, and I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to shut this camera off. I'm going to shut this camera off and move it where you can see down there, because I know that it's difficult at best to see it even with your bare eyes. So let me, okay, here we are. See that spring right down there? Right through that slot. I know I've got a lot of light on it, so the light may be a little bright, but let me see if I can block a little of that light. Now that spring a little bit easier to see right there. Okay, there is a bolt goes through this lever here to the lower stick lever, and that bolt can tighten this spring, and what that spring does is it creates a tension on this lever, so that when this stick moves forward and aft, this spring makes this mechanism here, right down here, it makes it move more quickly or more responsive. And let me go around to the other side so I can shoot across to that light. And as you can see, that lever is in spring, goes to this connection right here, and to this link here, which turns this pivot, which then in turn turns this pivot down here. Okay, and that runs the rod to the rear to the wheel motor. Okay, with that said, again, I like to tension this spring right here as much as possible so that I have immediate response on the stick. Now, that has nothing to do actually with lining the static alignment of the sticks. Alright, the static alignment of the sticks is at neutral and at full forward and full aft. Now, when you're full forward, if that spring is a little bit lax, it's the looser that spring is, or the more looseness the spring has in the coils. I have mine, as you can see, at coil bind right down there. So if that coil is not as tight as possible, what happens is when you go forward, and if one is less tight than the other, not at the same tension, then what's going to take place is one stick is going to go further forward than the other. The one with the most tension on the spring will drive the wheel motor rod further back, which makes it the wheel motor go forward. So if you have less tension on one side than the other, then the one with the least amount of tension will not drive the rod far enough back to make it go as fast as the one with the most tension. Okay, I hope that's clear. Now, with that said, let's say, and this is not about tracking, steering and tracking, but I'm going to make it about that. So if you are going forward and this stick and this stick seems to be as far forward as they'll go, and yet the mower is going to the left, that means the left wheel motor is not going as fast as the right wheel motor. So that means the right stick is pushing the rod further to the rear, causing this motor, the right motor, to go faster. So if we want the left motor to track with the right motor, then we have to do what? We have to speed up the left wheel motor to go as fast as the right. So how do we do that? We already have our rods adjusted, our steering sticks adjusted straight across. We've all done that. We know they're right where they belong. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this light right here. We're going to come right down here and we're going to squat down. No, I'm not. I'm going to sit down. Because you know, guys, you've all watched the videos. You know I'm old, fat, and ugly. At least the old and fat part anyway. Well, no, I'm pretty ugly. Okay, so right here we have two levers. And you want to squeeze those together on this little lip right here. Right down there. Alright, camera. I know, I've got the YouTuber thing going on here where you can't really focus. So, alright, you have a lip down there, a pair of lips. And you want to clamp those together so that they stay exactly the same distance. Now, to make the left wheel motor go faster, you've already heard me say we have to make the rod go to the rear. In other words, we want this lever right here on the wheel motor, we want it to go back a little farther. So what we're going to do is we're going to loosen this nut right here, right up there, about 2 turns. We're going to turn this nut clockwise. We're going to tighten it 1 turn, tighten this back up, then we're going to go out and test it. If it still veers to the left, then we're going to come back, we're going to clamp these 2 levers, we're going to loosen this nut on the rear 2 turns, we're going to tighten the front nut 1 turn, clockwise 1 turn. We're going to then tighten both those nuts up so they're secure to each other, remove the clamp, go out and test it. And we're going to do that until we get this thing tracking perfectly straight. So in order to make the lawnmower go straight, whichever wheel motor is going slower, we're going to speed it up. Yes, the book says do not speed up the slow motor, slow down the fast motor. Now why in the world we ain't going to do that? Guys, we are some of the fastest mowers in the country. Hustler does not make baby mowers. These things, they are adult mowers and they are ready to fly. So let's get them up there going as fast as we can. So we're not going to subscribe to their slow down the fast motor. We're going to speed up the slow motor. With that said, then what you want to do is make sure that you speed up the slow motor until, and if, let's say, you speed it up to exactly the same speed as the other, and then when you go to neutral you've got some creep, then all you got to do is take the rear, or actually the forward nut, you're going to loosen it 1/2 turn, you're going to tighten the rear nut 1/2 turn clockwise, and you're going to do it on both sides. You're going to do that a 1/2 turn at a time until you have them both exactly the same speed and you've taken the creep out in neutral or park. Now if it's in park it's not going to creep, but in neutral it could creep. So that's when you have your wheel motors going as fast as possible. So with that said, guys, get out there, adjust those sticks, get these sticks where they're straight across from each other. Be sure that you keep safety in mind, and when you do adjust these things out, be sure and share this video for other people that needs to know how to adjust their sticks so that they're straight across. Now I can't make them the same height up and down, but there you go. That's straight across, good as it's going to get. And you're going to like it a lot better when you get your sticks adjusted. You're going to like it when it's going straight. And you've all seen my videos where I take my hands off and mow for 300 feet straight, and the lawnmower continues to go straight. And you've seen my yard, it is not smooth. So that's how you make this happen. So be sure to share it with other people. Hit that like button, please. Hit that subscribe button if you hadn't already subscribed. And if you own a big dog or a Hustler, we have a group, and I'll have a link below. It is Hustler Mower Owners. Y'all come on by. We have people like Mass Depot here. They supply wheels, tires, tools, chemicals, you name it, they've got it. Great people, and they will give you a discount over and above their original discount if you use the MGM discount code. They sell Mass FX tires, that's their own brand. And oh, look here, there happens to be a set of those tires on this mower right here, and they are quite aggressive, but they don't tear up the yard. That's the part that's really nice. They don't slide around and move around on these suckers do the job. So guys, go by and see Mass Depot. All right, we appreciate you guys coming by Max's Garage Mahal. We thank you very kindly, and if you hadn't got you one of those Fuel Works gas cans, they are the world's fastest gas fillers. I ain't kidding you. And the best part about them is that they do not allow fumes out into your building. So once again, thank you for stopping by Max's Garage Mahal. Y'all come back and see me now. You hip?